Well, good afternoon or good evening, depending on your time zone, and welcome to the very first ever virtual accreditation award ceremony. Thank you for your patience as we got the slideshow loaded. Like I said, we've got some really great pictures, and that makes for a really large PowerPoint slides. But I'm so thrilled to be here with you all today to celebrate the accredited land trust community, and especially to recognize the 9 land trusts who are newly accredited over the past year, and the 99 land trusts who achieved renewal of accreditation. That number is just astonishing to me. For those of you who don't know me quite yet, I am Melissa Calvestrand, the Executive Director of the Commission. And I've been ED for about over 9 months now, but I have to say, I think that actually translates somewhere to about 2 to 3 years in COVID time. But in real time, I've actually been with the Commission for about 11 years in various roles, from reviewing applications to managing the whole review process. So for today, I'm actually going to also be the MC for this evening, while Lisa McCarthy and Stacy Grindle are our star producers. You might also see, I think we have some cameos with Valerie Roof and Jessica Whitaker, also Commission staff here as well. But I have to say, the real stars of today's event are you all. And to celebrate you, today's event will put the spotlight on those newly accredited land trusts, highlight those of you who've been renewed, feature some remarks from the Alliance's President and CEO, Andrew Bowman, and the Commission's Chair, Bruce Reynolds. We'll premiere a brand new movie that no one's ever seen, and conclude with a toast. So hopefully you have your glass ready. I know Mark in California does have his ready for the end of the evening. And I have to say, one of my favorite parts of Raleigh has always been the Accreditation Awards Ceremony, and having the chance to meet the people behind the names of you all that I see in applications or talk to on the phone. Well, I have to say, this is never how I could have ever imagined hosting my first Accreditation Award ceremony would ever go. But I have to say, I'm sure this is not the year any of us could have ever imagined. I think many of us are actually probably hesitant to even ask what more could happen next. With the global pandemic causing the loss of lives and livelihoods, social justice protests, wildfires, hurricanes, flooding, a derecho, which I have to say was a whole new weather phenomenon for me that I had to do some research to make sure I understood what that was when that was happening. But there's been adjustments for remote working and schooling, and 2020 has just been filled with a scale of disruption that I probably don't even have words for. However, amidst all of that disruption and difficulty, I've seen time and time again all of you rising to that challenge and really finding what the opportunity of this moment actually is. For example, I was on a stewardship call with some New York staff earlier this year, and I really saw land trusts just collaborating and sharing just novel solutions to these crazy problems we had. Like, how do you actually get a baseline signed while social distancing? And I have to say, it was a very interesting. It involved a sealed box, a barn, and a really creative no contact relay system. You have to ask some of those people in New York how they actually did it, but it was pretty fascinating. And when we checked in with the accredited land trusts in Oregon to let them know we were thinking about them, they really responded by sharing that they were keeping their communities updated and informed about trail closures and safety measures. They promoted drives to assist people who were displaced and lost their homes during fires. And when we talked with land trusts across California, they're running respite spots for firefighters, hosting food and drop-off spaces, posting how to help, where to go, resources for their whole community. And Burr Oak Land Trust in Iowa donated and raised funds for the Sac and Fox tribe of the Mississippi in Iowa to aid their relief efforts after the derecho. The settlement had extensive damage from the storm, where wind speeds reached up to 130 miles per hour. So all of you in hurricane country, that's really that transition between a Category 3 and a Category 4 hurricane that basically hit with zero warning. And the Land Trust volunteered hours of time to really help with the cleaning of downed trees on those tribal lands. And I know each and every one of you today has your own story to tell of how this moment is shaping you and your work, but I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the story of the 9 newly accredited land trusts. And so when stay-at-home guidelines began in Maine in early April, the Seven Lakes Alliance kept their trails open and offered information on how to practice social distancing outdoors to allow the community a place to seek refuge in nature. They offered free webinars on topics such as native bees, water quality, gardening for wildlife, to really engage and educate their community. And when they saw the members of their community faced with food insecurity, they promoted actually giving to local area food banks. And another land trust in Maine, Maine Farmland Trust, completed a similar pandemic pivot. It transformed its regular farm to farm bike tour to really a self-guided one so that those farms and those farm stands could continue to be supported. And it's really also using this moment to be able to promote how protecting farmland and supporting local farmers and farm businesses are really an investment in a resilient local food system. And the Land Trust has continued to put these words into action and is partnering with the accredited Cape Elizabeth Land Trust to protect Maxwell Farm. This protection will help enable the family who's been growing fruits and vegetables in the region for 7 generations to ensure that that property can remain active agriculture. And I have to say, on a personal note, working with and accrediting land trusts actually serves as a virtual road trip across the country for me. I get to learn about places and landscapes I never knew about. And I have to say, with travel restrictions, because I do really enjoy traveling, I appreciate that learning more today than ever. For example, the Great Rivers Land Trust in Illinois protects the landscape of what is known locally as the Great River Road. Officially, that's the meeting of the Great Rivers National Scenic Byway. The meeting of the Great Rivers refers to where the Mississippi, the Illinois, and the Missouri rivers meet in a broad floodplain bordered by 150-foot limestone bluffs, geology that dates back to more than 250 million years. The Land Trust has been involved helping in projects that help protect those rivers, including the Piazza Creek Watershed Project, which really is helping reduce the overall sediment loading into the Mississippi. Further south, the Alabama Forest Resource Center focuses efforts on another watershed. It and its partners are strategically protecting the headwater habitats for the waters that feed Mobile Bay. The watershed is actually the 6th largest in the nation by area and has the 4th largest freshwater inflow in all of North America. In 2019, the Land Trust received the Governor's Conservation Achievement Award for Land Conservationists of the Year from the Alabama Wildlife Federation. And that's that picture of them receiving that award. And the Connecticut Land Trust actually also had something else to celebrate in 2019. The all-volunteer East Haddam Land Trust marked its 40th anniversary last year. This year, the Land Trust has kept its preserve trails open with new safety measures in place to really allow people to enjoy the outdoors. It's really running a new photo contest right now with the winning photos of Land Trust and Town Preserve to be featured in a 2021 calendar, something I might be interested in purchasing online. And further west in Connecticut, still in Connecticut, Middlebury Land Trust protects 10% of the town it is based in. And the Land Trust has really recently enhanced its membership benefits to offer members fishing access to Lake Elise and Larkin Pond as an automatic benefit. It's a great way for them to encourage and expand passive recreation and has done so while ensuring measures are in place to protect public health and safety. And across the country in California, health and safety take on a whole new dimension. In Northern California, Golden State Land Conservancy focuses on developing relationships with a variety of stakeholders to tackle conservation challenges. In the light of the magnitude of all the challenges we're all facing, relationships and partnerships are becoming all the more essential. Further south in California, Mountains Restoration Trust helps protect the rare and unique natural environment of the Santa Monica Mountains. The 2018 Woolsey Fire destroyed hundreds of homes and depleted the national recreation area there. But in 2019, Mountains Restoration Trust, its partners, and over 500 volunteers gathered together to plant over 300 plants in the Santa Monica Mountains. In nearby Ventura, California, the Ventura Land Trust Preserve 5K Challenge is underway actually this very week. Participants can run or walk a 5K on 1, 2, or 3 of the Land Trust preserves. Those taking up the challenge will surely notice the restoration efforts the Ventura Land Trust has undertaken. From the 100 tons, that's right, 100 tons of waste that was removed from the Willoughby Preserve to the restoration work underway at the Big Rock Preserve. In 2018, the Thomas Fire swept through Ventura County, resulting in extensive damage to the Big Rock Preserve, where 80% of the 1,000 trees the Land Trust had just basically planted not that long ago were damaged or destroyed. But that Land Trust is committed to repairing the trails and replanting the trees. Each one of these land trusts demonstrates to me the strength, the resiliency, and the impact that is just fundamentally what the accredited land trust community stands for. But we're not the only ones celebrating the accredited land trust community today. Andrew Bowman, President and CEO of the Land Trust Alliance, has been a long-time supporter of the accredited land trust community and congratulates you all. And we have a few words from him.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to take a few minutes to say congratulations and thank you to all of you for going through the accreditation process. I know it's not easy. I know it was cumbersome, but it means a lot to us at the Land Trust Alliance. It means a lot to your peers. It means a lot to the land trust community. So again, thank you and congratulations on your reaccreditation or your brand new accreditation. Thanks.
So that hard work that Andrew mentioned definitely pays off. Every land trust we talk to says that they have been made stronger by having gone through the accreditation process. But we also wanted to share with you what your colleagues say is the value and impact of being accredited. We've been collecting stories over the past year, and here is the debut of our new video sharing the voices of accredited land trusts and the value of accreditation.
Conservation is forever. And the only way for us to do conservation forever is to make sure that we're keeping up with the standards, doing a good job, taking care of those things that wind up at the bottom of the pile, moving them to the top. It's not easy, but it's important.
The ways in which we've made our community a better place to live now and in the future, I feel very proud of, and accreditation played a really strong role in making that possible.
As a family who's given several dozen conservation easements, we care deeply about those land trusts being there forever.
Accreditation is serious business. We need to demonstrate to the public and to each other that we are operating at the very highest ethical standards, legal standards, financial standards, and stewardship responsibility into the future.
Conservation is a big community of people with like-mindedness, and I feel that way about accredited land trusts also.
What accreditation really does in an easy-to-find way is to bring those learnings of best practices from land trusts from all over the country.
It's good to have the verification from an outside group that comes in, takes a look at your records, takes a look at your policies, offer constructive feedback on how to get better, and kind of steps to move forward so that the larger land conservation goal across the country really is successful.
When we ask ourselves what we should do, we think about accreditation and we think about requirements.
Before we were accredited, we really had no governance policies.
Five Rivers didn't have any kind of record-keeping policy when we started.
Easement violations, there were several that we had sort of delayed on, and now that we're up for reaccreditation, we're really looking back and seeing, okay, we need to deal with these.
It's like cleaning your attic, but when it's done, there's an enormous feeling of accomplishment. Your ducks are in a row, your house is in order, and you can move forward with a new positive feeling about your organizational structure.
We've been able to use volunteers and reduce the staff time that it takes to do that record keeping. That's a big bonus for us.
We have better management plans because they meet the standards and practices, and we have much better record keeping.
And by adopting policies as part of the accreditation process, it helps staff work through gnarly stewardship issues.
Before we had actually begun the renewal process, we were having a struggle with perhaps the biggest violation we'd seen to date. Our violations policy, our enforcement actions, all of that helped to ensure that we had all of the steps necessary so that we could resolve the case.
Accreditation has helped us be ready for staff transitions in particular.
Right after we were accredited, we had our executive director leave and had to replace him.
We took a deep breath, sort of mourned the loss of one of our fabulous employees, but were able to move forward in a really productive way.
It was incredibly helpful to have the roadmap of what to do, how to do it. Someone could step right in, and it was so much easier.
It can be very reassuring to a landowner to know that the policies are in place, that what is happening at the land trust today will happen there tomorrow, and that the transition to new staff will be well covered.
So an accredited land trust, in my mind, means a secure, financially stable, well-governed land trust that has a future.
Any land trust who is thinking about accreditation, I just can't encourage you strongly enough to go down that road.
The accreditation process, the renewal process, provides an insurance that, or provides an assurance that we're doing the right work, and my kids will see it and their kids will see it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bruce Runnels, and I'm chair of the Land Trust Accreditation Commission. I worked 34 years for the Nature Conservancy and led its effort to become an accredited land trust. So I do fully appreciate what you've invested in the accreditation process, and truly thank you for being part of it. I'm really honored to join you for this annual celebration, and I wish we were meeting in person with hundreds of your professional colleagues cheering your success, including 443 accredited land trusts, proudly waving their accreditation pennants. My lone pennant, which I hope you can see here, isn't a proper substitute, but I have it here as an homage to your success and achievement, and I keep it hanging proudly on my office wall at home. I think without question, achieving accreditation is a landmark moment in the growth and evolution of your organization. It shows your land trust's commitment to sound finances, ethical conduct, responsible governance, and lasting stewardship. It helps your organization be stronger, more resilient, and more financially sustainable, especially at a time when the public most needs outdoor spaces, like now, and when funding sources may be less certain. Also, it offers a level of assurance that your work can live up to the vital goal of leaving a meaningful conservation legacy for future generations. I know you've worked hard to realize this moment, and I offer my heartfelt congratulations to each of you and your organizations. Your singular achievement is in its own right. I want to highlight one more attribute of your success, and that's the contribution you're making to the whole of the land trust movement. As you know, our collective reputation means everything, and a network of accredited land trusts speaking the shared language of standards and practices and aligned in our approach builds public trust, credibility, and confidence, and it signals that we are fully equipped to deliver on the promise of perpetuity. We know that 85% of public agencies and foundations see that accreditation increases their confidence in land trusts, and 83% of landowners feel the same way. So our shared commitment to high standards and enduring conservation truly galvanizes a collective influence that elevates the entire community of land trusts, and for that, you all should be extra proud. Final note, I conclude without letting you know that the Commission understands the new degrees of difficulty you're facing in these times of COVID-19. Accreditation can be a strong foundation that drives innovation and excellence, and especially when facing new challenges like COVID. For example, in my home state of Colorado, the Gates Family Foundation and the state's Great Outdoors Colorado program teamed up to make a grant of $155,000 to a coalition of 12 Colorado land trusts to enhance their use of aerial monitoring for conservation easements. The Accreditation Commission supports this kind of innovation, especially in these times. So please don't hesitate to call on us when you have questions about the detailed requirements of standards and practices. We are keenly interested in doing all we can to support you. Again, both for myself and on behalf of the Commission, congratulations and thank you for all you're doing, especially in these difficult times. Now, if we were together in person, this would be the moment when you would take your places to walk across the stage. Instead, we've put together a presentation of all the land trusts who have achieved renewal. You will notice there are flags next to the names of certain organizations, and these flags denote land trusts who have achieved second renewal. This means 10 years of being an accredited organization, which is clearly a noteworthy achievement that shows an unwavering commitment to conservation excellence. Please enjoy the presentation, and we'll see you afterward for a final toast to your achievements. Thank you.
That was truly an inspiring glimpse of the 99 land trusts to achieve renewal and the people and the places that make them special. So yay, let's all give a moment to cheer, cheer for them. That was amazing. So congratulations to you all. So in closing, now is a great time to please raise your glass. Give me a second. I have my glass right here if you have one. And I have to say mine is filled with my favorite cider from the beautiful Finger Lakes region here in New York. Very special place in my heart. So, but raise your glass in a celebration of your individual achievements and of your collective strength and resiliency. So giant cheers to the accredited land trust community. So I look forward to seeing you all at Virtual Rally next week. We are having a virtual exhibitor space, so please come by, stop and see us. I'd like to see you and say hi and be able to, again, put faces to names to all the people I see in the application on the phone. Just truly delighted and congratulations.